In this clip, I'm going to use a harmonica in the key of A. Then I'm going to use a D harmonica second and a G harmonica third. And then I will go through and explain exactly what it is that I did. That's first position. D harmonica, second position. Third position on a G harmonica. Back to the D harp, second position. A harmonica. G. All right, let's talk about that. I started in, well, let me stop this thing. Oh, it is stopped. I started in first position. So the track is in the key of A. The track I'm using here is A major. And I started in what's called first position, taking a harmonica in the same key as the music. So that first position, there's some really sweet bluesy stuff that you can do on both the bottom, a little bit in the middle, and the top end of the harmonica. Sounds great. So that's what that was. The key, I'll explain the key in a minute, how to get to what and what's going on with that, the formula. Then I used a D harmonica, and that's called second position. And I used that blues scale. And then I made my way to third position on a G harmonica. All along I'm playing in the key of A. On every harmonica I'm actually playing, the key of the music didn't change. We're staying in A. And I'm just going through with the various positions. So how did I get there? Well, there's a chart. I think I can put a picture under in the comments section or somewhere in the video description. Somehow I'll link to a chart that you can download, but I'll figure that out. It's a 12 position chart, so you would look at that chart and you'd find the key of A in the chart, and then you'd see first position. It tells you to go to an A harmonica. You could also use the circle of fifths. You can look that up. By the time you get to second position, the chart shows you go to a D harmonica to play second position in the key of A, and to play in the key of A in third position, the chart tells you key of G. So it can be as simple as just memorizing it. If you want more understanding of the theory, so be it, but I always just sort of followed the chart, and then eventually I didn't have to follow it. You just sort of recall what the positions are. So how do you know when to do this, or when to use first versus second versus third? There is no rhyme or reason. There are no rules to this, but let's think about when it works best. So this is a really interesting discussion. So if I'm playing first position, I want a lower key. So right away, this first, second, and third sort of experiment, for me personally, is limited typically to like B flat, A, and G. And let me explain that. So I don't want to play first position on a C harmonica typically. I do it once in a while, but I prefer those lower keys. So immediately I've limited the range of what key music I'll be doing this sort of first, second, and third swapping in. I won't do it in any old key. So I'll stick to A, like I said, maybe B flat and G. So in the key of A, you just saw me demo that. I used an A harmonica, then a D for second, and G for third. Let's talk about B or B flat. I like the key of B a lot. So if you have a B harmonica, that's a nice key for first position still. Puts you on an E harmonica for second position. A little high, but so what? Sounds great. And then an A harmonica, which is beautiful for third position. So the key of B is great. B flat would just put you to a B flat. Second position would be E flat, and then A flat for that third position. And when you are in the key of G, you will play G in the first position, C harmonica in second position. And I would prefer absolutely a low-tuned F for third position, because that high F is just, I reserve that for occasional cross harp, and that's about it. So now you know which keys to maybe are more conducive for this type of experiment. Let's talk about when you would do it, or what type of songs. It can work in any style, really. That doesn't matter so much. But a slow blues is really sweet, I think, for first position and second and third. So I think that's a logical choice. It comes up a lot for me. I'll switch around and experiment. I don't often do all three positions, like first, second, third. I will often just do first or second, or first and third, or second and third, or second and first. I mix it up a little between two positions. And I often will just take a solo in second position, and then if I get another solo, I move to the other position that I want to choose. And the final way I might experiment with this is just to go back and forth with your own playing. So you would take, you might be going, and you want to that's a harmonica first position riff, and you want that riff in second. You heard me do it in the demo that I grabbed another one and played a similar riff. It was intentional to show you that there's a lot of crossing over to these same ideas you can easily find in the various positions. It's a fun experiment, and another reason you might want to do this is to keep yourself interested and focused on what you're playing. Don't get bored. If you're thinking, I'm bored of just playing cross harp, well, experiment with switching around in a song and go to another. Just choose a position you wouldn't normally use. So how do you do this? You got to get good at the scale work. You have to learn the scales that are involved. If you want to ear train them, so be it. The scale work. That's not the only way to get there for first position. I never studied any scale work other than the major scale, which is not bluesy at all. That's not going to help you. There is a blues scale there. There are a lot of missing notes that would need to be figured out by overblowing, but I learned it through example. Just take your time and listen to what people are playing. Listen to those old songs and those examples. That's your best bet. You train the examples and then come up with your own ideas. Kind of switch around some of these ideas. Without the track, I'll leave you just with a little sample of each position. you can kind of listen for some of that similar phrasing coming out now and again. First position on a G. Well, let's stick to the original way, the way we did it. First position on an A. Plenty to do on the top and the bottom register. First position, cross harp. All these are, again, I'm playing in the key of A. And then in the key of A, and I'm sticking to A major, but I'm playing third position major. You know, you don't need as much. There are certain notes that I guess work better on a minor scale. But without getting into that, I want to just say, for what it's worth, for better or for worse, I don't think too much about, I don't think at all about what notes I want to change from major to minor, because they both will work. That minor scale works just fine. But there are little adjustments I know I'm doing by ear. But I don't think about it that way. I just play the scale work and the ideas as I learn them, regardless of major or minor, and it works out for me. So somebody out there feel free to correct me and tell me that I'm wrong, but I'm just using my ear and trusting that. So I hope that you get a little something out of experimenting from this video. Maybe somebody grabs some new ideas, but it's really fun to experiment within one song. And if you want to get great at this idea of being able to go back and forth in different position work in one song, do just that. Practice one song at a time and take a minute and get good at multiple positions on that song. Become familiar with what phrases are working well. That's your best bet. And you can practice by just putting on, say, tracks that are just totally different styles and grooves. Take a rumba and do first, second, third. Take a shuffle. Take a slow blues. Whatever it is. Take different styles, approach them in each position, and see how it feels. Sometimes you just hear that first position is not a good fit, or third isn't a good fit, so you don't play that position in those circumstances. But otherwise, you should be really it's a free-for-all. Just experiment. There are no hard set rules as to this won't work here, don't do that. You just got to become familiar with it. All right. Have a great day, and I will see you guys soon.